So welcome everyone. I like the fact that we have early birds. We were here like before too, and we saw that we got quite a number of people already in the lobby as well. So let's do something before we get started. Let's share our the meeting link we used in joining with our friends, families, communities. Let's get more people to come and benefit from what we have to offer today. I think we had quite a number of people indicate, very serious interest to attend. Right, so I was still getting them up until some minutes ago. So yeah, let's just give it about maybe 3 minutes for more people to join us before we kick start. So I've got Sarah Magui, United Kingdom student. Welcome, Sarah. Nice to meet you, and thanks for coming to the session. Olalekon, foreign trained lawyer, London employment officer. Welcome, Olalekon, and thanks for coming. Nice to meet you as well. Please, let's keep the introduction coming. Our names, where we're joining from, and what we do currently. I'm sure that we all have expectations. There's a reason why we have devoted, if it's just 1 hour, if it's 2 hours of our time to be here today, and we want to, as much as possible, try to meet and exceed our expectation. And we can only do that if we know what the expectations are or where you are currently. So I've got Olayinka, a financial, is it Finical? Is it Finical or financial advisor? And then I've got Lizzie from London, currently in a customer service role, but had previous experience in banking. Welcome, Lizzie. Welcome, Olayinka. Nice to meet you. So, please financial advisor. Thanks, Olayinka, for clarifying that. I was going to start going to Google to check, what Finical advisors do. Daddy. So I've got Oluwadara, foreign trained lawyer, Wolverhampton, UK. Welcome, Oluwadara. Nice to meet you. Welcome. I've got Blessing Obu, Nigerian qualified lawyer, currently running an LLM in University of Bradford. Welcome and nice to meet you, Blessing. Sorry, I typed fast. Don't worry, I can totally understand that. Please, I've got 25 people in the session. And I don't think I've read up to 10 introductions. Let's try to except you guys are here as So let's please introduce ourselves, our names, the city or country we are joining from. It looks like everybody. Looks like everybody. Okay, so I've got Samuel Finance. Everybody joining so far has been within the UK. We've got Samuel, financial accountant, Leeds, UK. Oyekachi, residing in Barking, East London. Is Barking East London or Essex? A banker from Nigeria, currently working in a warehouse, looking to upscale. Welcome, Oyekachi, and nice to meet you. Don't worry, I know the answer to that question. I know it's both. Sarah, please mute yourselves. Let's try to mute ourselves. So I've got Judith Obatomi Nze from Manchester, foreign trained lawyer. Finished my master's in IT with cybersecurity. Welcome. Welcome, Judith. Nice to meet you. Please, let's keep the introduction coming. We've still got 3 minutes. We usually take the first 10 minutes, to do our intros. Omalola from London, just finished a course in project management from BPP University. Feels good to be here, looking to get a good job soon. Welcome, Omalola, and congrats on your master's program. And I join in your faith, and you will share your success story soon. Right. Anna from India, currently in Glasgow, done my master's in international commercial law from University of Glasgow. Welcome, Anna. Nice to have you here. Harriet, currently a healthcare support worker with the NHS Aberdeen, Scotland. Welcome, Harriet. I'm Marvelous, Nigerian qualified lawyer, currently doing my master's in the University of Hertfordshire. Welcome, Marvelous. And thanks for joining us today. Adesodun, currently a PCS and customer advisor with NHSBSA, currently looking to upskill. Very fantastic and valid reason, to be honest. We all need to upskill, right? So yeah, I totally validate that. Oduayo Father Miro, a business analyst in the financial industry. I look forward to learning a lot from this session. I've been eager to know more about AMLCFT. Fantastic. Nice to have a business analyst in the house. Thanks for joining us. No knowledge, is ever lost. Right. I think we've done justice to the intros. I don't know if you have more coming. If there are no more introductions coming, I'd like to introduce myself as well. My name is Rukayat, also known as Ricky. I'm the founder and CEO of RQI Careers. In the last 12 months, we've had over 1,000 plus success stories of people who've landed their desired jobs, including remote six figures as well as visa sponsorship jobs. We do this through our trainings and our services, compliance, KYC, AML, projects management, and business analysis, Scrum Master and Product Owner, and then Excel and PowerPoint as well. We also support people who might already have their experience, who might already have experience, right, in their desired roles through our services, which include CV optimization, LinkedIn optimization, career advisory, interview prep, professional portfolio, and the likes. So, before we proceed, and I won't let you guys steal my notes, what does compliance mean to you? Like I said, I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible. So I want to believe and hope that, the code where we started by not responding quickly, would have changed by now. Right. To see whether you guys agree with me that we need to warm up a bit. Let me see how many people get to respond. So what does compliance mean to you? Probably based on your personal experience, based on your professional experience or whatever, right? What does compliance mean to you? In just a word or two. I'll be looking at the chat box. What does compliance mean to you? Hey, fantastic. Oyekachi, thanks for responding. So compliance means adherence to laid out rules and regulations. Thank you for that. Adeola says following guidelines. Thank you for that. Omolola says following instructions. Thank you for that. I think you guys have put it as simply as it can possibly be put. Right. Olayinka says compliance is knowing the rules that guide the profession. Thank you for that as well. I think you guys have just been spot on, right? You've been spot on, because if you don't really even have an understanding of what compliance is, and I think this knowledge about compliance is not only for those that want to get jobs as compliance analysts. It's something that we all need to know. It's something that we all need, because regardless of your industry, regardless of even in your small desk, there are rules and regulations that has been set, right, in your organization, either internally or externally as well. So compliance is an essential aspect of different governments, organizations, and institutions as well. And this exists across all jurisdictions, from country to country. There are different regulations, or from industry to industry. There are different regulations that are set to ensure that, the vulnerable are protected, to ensure that, the society, peace, the world peace and everything is protected. Compliance and rules and regulation needs to be set. And when these are set, there has to be like ways of monitoring, and ensuring that these are being followed, so that the desired results out of setting them in the first place will be achieved. Right. So what does compliance, usually entail? Like I said earlier, it entails a wide array of rules, regulations, ethical standards, So in the finance space, right, we have financial regulations, we have the data protection, even across all the data protection cuts across all industries, because in the UK there's a standard, and the EU as well. of how we're supposed to protect clients' data. You can't just share data anyhow. You can't just, pass on data. Even within your own organization, if you've collected data for marketing, for like transactional purposes, you can't just automatically start using it for marketing purposes, except you get the consent as well. This is just for obvious reasons, right? Because if you look at the other side of the rules that have been set, somebody is going to get hurt at the end of the day. So it could be, of course, it could be vulnerable people. Say, for instance, if there are no KYC policies and all that put in place for banking industries, then the people that you are dealing with, might not actually be who they are. So you might be dealing with somebody that is supposed to be RKY consulting services, but the person did not provide any RKY consulting services to document or companies as documents to open the account in the first place. So it means that like 5 people can have different accounts of RKY consulting services if KYC is not usually done, right? And I mean, how would we trust the financial system if we can't even be sure that the person that gave me this company name is actually that company? How were they able to open that account? So look at it as well from financing terrorism as well. If the proper KYC and AML checks are not done, and funds are just moved, illicit funds are moved, without control and all that, what would the world look like? If it's very easy to move illicit funds to fund terrorism, up and down. Just look at as well the society and citizenship and all that as well, right? If it's easy without checks, I mean, despite the fact that it's not even so easy to move embezzled funds all around, right? It's still being done in a way or the other. Now imagine where there's no rule. They say where there's no rule. What do they say? Where there's no, is it where there's no rule or where there's no law? Is it law or rule? Who is going to correct me? Where there's no law, there's no sin, isn't it? So imagine a free world where there's no law, where there's no rule. People just do what they like. There's no right or wrong. And even if they are right or wrong, there's nobody ensuring that right is being done. Right. So this is the reason why we have compliance. And this is the reason why we have it as a profession as well. So what are the essentials for compliance industry? So for someone who is interested in compliance industry, there's some skills, and you need some skill sets and practical work experience or practical experience to be able to thrive in this role or in this industry. So the first thing that would be good to have is legal/industry knowledge. So if you're, for instance, trying to get a job as in the health and care industry as a compliance person, right, you need to understand what are the laws and regulations or rules that guide these particular industries. Who are the vulnerable? Who are the people being protected? What's the materiality of each? What's the materiality? What is high risk or low risk? You need to have a very good understanding of the industry itself. So regulatory framework as well. You need to have a very good understanding of the regulatory framework. Who are the regulators? Are there multiple? Are there multifaceted? Are there internal and external, regulators? You need to have a good understanding of this. You also need to seek training and education as well. And when we say training and education, we don't necessarily mean you going back to we don't mean you going back to school to learn to do another degree in this or degree in that. No, it's just basically having a culture of continuous development. Enrolling for boot camps like this, like the one we offer at RKY Careers, where you get to not only learn the theory aspects, but also get opportunity to have practical experience, right? And then also you need to also be aware of data protection and privacy rules. All industries have their privacy rules because, I mean, from financial to health and, all industries, they have their data protection and privacy regulations. So we also have financial compliance rights. You need to have a very good understanding of, AML, CFT, and all that. As a compliance professional, you would have to face problems, in different natures on a day-by-day basis. There are some, you might need to escalate to higher authorities, or I mean, when I say authorities, not external, like probably your managers or something, there would have been a laid down policy on how to escalate, situations like this. Communication skills is very important because as a compliance person or a KYC analyst, sometimes you even need to be customer facing to collect all these KYC documents or documentation from the customer. So you need to actually have very good communication skills, You need to have very good ethical judgment and integrity as well, right? So if you have that person that they want to set as the gatekeeper, they need to trust the gatekeeper, right? So if you are the one that we want to trust for our compliance, even you have to have integrity. And that's why in this industry, they are kind of always very strict with who they employ. Their employment checks, they don't joke with their employment checks and all that, right? So confidentiality as well. In this role, you would actually be exposed to lots of confidential information. So you need to actually safeguard sensitive information, right? In this, if you hold if you are looking to get into compliance. So before we proceed further, I would like to throw another question to us again. So based on your previous experience, so I've gone back to the chat box now. Based on your previous experience or industry you have worked in, who is your regulator? Who have you been able to first of all identify who your regulators are? There could be multiple in some cases. So who are your regulators? I want to know if all of us are even aware. Let's say your role was not even compliance related, but you need to be able to know who your regulators are. So just tell me your regulators and I'll tell you, probably where you worked previously as well. So let's play that little game. Right, fantastic. I've got CBN here. I mean, CBN, for those that do not know, is Central Bank of Nigeria. So that's one of the regulators for the banking system in Nigeria. Right. We have other regulators in Nigeria apart from CBN. For those that work in the bank, I want you guys to tell me more regulators we have in the banking system. Right. We've got CAC. So that's Corporate Affairs Commission, the ones that register corporate accounts. They are a regulator as well because, of course, you need to also file to them, right? You need to declare your accounts and everything to them. So yes, we can call them regulators as well. SEC, fantastic. SEC, is SEC a regulator? SEC is what's SEC? Security Commission something, right? Yeah, so yeah, fantastic. NFIU, FCA, that's the UK space. Thank you for that. NFIU is Nigeria Fraud Intelligence Unit, right? For the Nigerian financial system as well. Fantastic. Right. I've not heard anybody mention EFCC. EFCC is also a regulator, isn't it? Lumi. Isn't EFCC a regulator?
Yes, their own version of the NCA, yeah.
Yeah, and they are the ones that issue SCOMO, right? They are the ones that you have to go to for SCOMO. Yeah, they're fantastic. So Olayinka just answered that yes, for SCOMO. Right, that's the money. SCOMO is special, something. I think I used to know those things. Insurance industry, NICOM, CIIN, Damola, right? You are getting A1. See how you mentioned all of them all together, CIIN, ITF, CAC, NSITF, FRCN. Fantastic. So we've got FIRS, LIRS, and all the likes, depending on the state as well. There are regulators as well. So you can see that, for different, what would I call it now? There are different regulators, and they are compliance professionals that have been put in place to ensure that whatever it is that's been set as policies or rules are followed. Right. So we've got it looks like we don't have a lot of people in the UK here. We don't have anybody healthcare industry in the UK. I've not seen your regulator. You guys have everybody has regulator. I expected faster responses than this. The UK space. I need more regulators within the UK space. Thank you, Olayinka. CQC, ICB. What's ICB? I know people that are going to get very high grades in today's masterclass. Okay, Adiola also says CQC and DHSC. What's DHSC though? And ICB. Department of Health and Social Care. Fantastic. You see, we are all learning. Right, fantastic. What about ICB? So yeah, there you have it, guys. For all the different industries we might be working in. NIRSA, okay, there's NIRSAL. Exactly. So we all have regulators that are protecting different, interests. Right. Some are protecting, the interest of maybe, Bank of England. Fantastic. So that's like CBN. FCA for the UK. Fantastic. So these are people that ensure that things are done the way, they have been set to be done. Integrated care board. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that. That's a new level of knowledge as well. Thank you for educating us, everybody that has said one or two things. So let's just go on, at this stage. I think we are all on the same page, right? What other skills do we need? So I'm going to throw this again to us because I don't like as I'm talking to myself. I want us to warm up, right? So, based on your, based on your knowledge of compliance, right? Basic knowledge, what skills do you think a good compliance professional should have? Don't look at my notes, please. What skills do you think that a good compliance professional should have to be successful? Apart from the ones I've mentioned, of course. Attention to details. Thank you, Judith. Strong analytical skills. Thank you, Odunayo. I think attention to detail. You are so right, Adiola. Thank you as well. You need to pay attention to details to be able to see, to be able to identify abnormalities, to be able to, eye for detail. Yeah, perfect. Right. You need to have eye for detail. Right. You need to be able to think strategically. You need to understand the GDPR and data protection laws. You need to be very good at documentation and record keeping. Right. You need to be able to assess risk based on the framework that has been set. You need to be very good with risk assessments. You need to have very good legal and industry knowledge. Right. So these are just a few though of the skill sets. So we've talked about the roles, we've talked about that. So now let's talk about the potential career paths that you can explore in compliance and the average salary that is being earned in this role. So we've got the KYC analyst, compliance analyst, risk manager, financial crime analyst, sanctions officer, AML compliance analyst, data protection specialist as well. These are just a few, and you can see that they are not all low salaries. Not everybody will start at these salaries, right? Because of course, first of all, you need to set your foot in. But this is a career path that promises you an opportunity for career progression. So even if you are starting with the 38K salary today, or 40K or 45K salary, you know that that's not the peak. Right, you are not starting at the peak, you are starting at the very beginning, and you are going to just keep going up from there. Another thing I love about the compliance career path is the fact that you are not limited to one. You can be a KYC analyst in your first role. The next one you are getting, AML analyst. The next one you are getting, compliance coordinator, compliance manager. There's very big room for, professional development. So why should you pursue a career in compliance? There's a high demand for compliance professionals, right? Because the rules and the laws keep changing, from time to time. The landscape is is complex and is constantly evolving. Businesses and organizations, need compliance professionals to help them, navigate these very complex and ever-changing regulations. There are new things, there are new angles they need to look at, especially with even AI these days. There are so many things that, they didn't even know that AI could. There are so many breaches that can happen as a result of AI. That's looking at AI. So banks as well, there are so many sanctions being dished out. The more the sanctions, the more they need to pay more attention because it means they've done something wrong at some point. So career stability as well. Right. Compliance is an essential function, right? Across all industries, right? And because of that, the job opportunities in compliance, they are not going anywhere. They are not something that artificial intelligence or technology is going to take away from us, right? So there's career stability in this industry. You would always, get a job because lots of companies, like banks are expanding. The more the population is increasing, the more accounts required is increasing, and the more professionals needed. The same with care. More care homes are being opened, for those that, want to keep things the compliance way. Look at home office regulations and all that. For companies that sponsor, they need compliance professionals to make sure that things are done, the right way, the way it's supposed to be done. So we've got diverse career opportunities as well. I think I've mentioned this, the way you can, explore a wide range of roles, right? Global relevance, right? The skills and knowledge gained in the compliance field can be transferable internationally. You don't necessarily need to change your career when you move to another country. All countries, they might have different regulators, but they all share intelligence. They all mirror, the international and global standards in coining even their own local ones, right? Competitive compensation as well. So it's a high-paying industry. So even if you're not starting your first job, with the 90K, 70K, I mean, I may even get 90K in the UK, right? But still, there's a good opportunity for competitive salary, professional growth as well, global regulatory trends as well. So, and this will now take me to introduce you to the RKY Careers Compliance Bootcamp, right? Our bootcamp is like your one-stop shop for landing or for starting a career in compliance, right? We start by training you, also giving you practical experience, working on projects and cases like a real life cases, right? In order to make sure that you are well equipped to handle and roll your sleeves from day one when you get a job. So what are the bootcamp? What are the perks that you get from our bootcamp? Just like I said earlier, you get live training, then you get to work on real life scenarios, cases, AML cases, KYC cases, GDPR cases, and then we move on to interview preparation as well. You get to work on quizzes and competency tests. You get to work on practical case studies, and then of course you get reference for this practical experience. This experience that you're gaining within the bootcamp can be put on your CV or will be put on your CV. So we do your CV and LinkedIn for you as well for the new role. You get a certificate of completion. We are accredited by CPD UK, by ACTD USA, and we are also listed on the UK government website as a training provider. Also, within the bootcamp, you get access to our learning management system where all resources and classes are uploaded to, so you can rewatch. The best part of our bootcamps is the support, the post-bootcamp support you get, which you don't get anywhere else. When you are enrolled at RQY, the support is never ending. After the bootcamp, there's usually like a mock interview prep and everything that happens at the end. However, after this, we still have our drop-in sessions that happen twice a week for those that might have interviews. To come in, bring your job description. Let's try to review what are the possible questions that can come out of this, because that support goes a long way. A lot of people, they join boot camps and everything, but that support is usually missing, such that when they now get interviews again, they still need to go and pay another 100 quid, 200 quid just to be prepared for the interview. But at RKY, that is not usually the case. Another good part is the fact that we are exposed to unending insights and knowledge. At RKY, for instance, in the month of May, we exposed all our alumni community, including the compliance, to a free Power BI training where, they learned how to use Power BI to visualize data. Whatever it, when we do our research, industry research, and we find out whatever it is that is in demand that is making people stand out in the markets, we try as much as possible to bring it back to the house to educate, and educate and get our alumni and students prepared for the markets, because it's a win-win for us. Even if after 1 year after your bootcamp, you are still landing jobs, and that's what we face at ARC. We've had people who have changed jobs like 3 times, and they're still not finding it difficult at every point they want to change jobs to get a job. Right. So, for instance, now at the end of this month, our monthly alumni webinar. So we also have our monthly alumni webinar where we bring different industry experts to come talk to us. We've had people come talk. Last month it was about global talent visa. The one before, I think it was about, we brought people to talk about NHS jobs, civil service jobs. I think this month then we're going to be talking about how to use LinkedIn to tell, and demonstrate experience. LinkedIn optimization is now beyond just updating your LinkedIn and all that. Now you need to do more than that. You need to be an active job seeker. You need to be active in demonstrating your experience on LinkedIn. These are the special insights that we continue to give to our students to ensure that they have very good understanding of the job market and are leveraging every opportunity at their disposal. So who can take this course? Early career beginners. If you've never had a work experience before, you've never worked before, this is a very good start for you to prepare you for industry. Foreign trained lawyers and ex-bankers, right? If you are a foreign trained lawyer, you've worked as in a legal environments in Nigeria, a lawyer, and whether you want to pursue your SQE or other exams or not, this is the career path you can explore as an alternative, where we've seen lots of our students go on to get jobs in law firms as compliance professionals because of their previous background. Also, anyone seeking a career in KYC and AML, you don't necessarily need to be an ex-banker or an ex-lawyer. You can still land a job as a compliance professional. CEOs and executive as well, just to know how to also put yourself together, and to understand the UK regulatory framework and work environment. Risk managers as well. If you want to be a risk manager, is something you should also, look at. So what are the competencies you will gain in our bootcamp? Right, so you would gain comprehensive regulatory knowledge, right? So you gain KYC and AML, right, knowledge. So we have a module that covers KYC and AML. We have a module that covers data protection and privacy, financial sanctions, and GDPR as well. We also gain knowledge in, assessing risk and mitigation as well. So what are the kind of roles you can apply for at the bootcamp? Because that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with. They join bootcamps, but they don't get that intelligence on what they should do with the skill set they now have. And that's why at RQY Careers, we also do a student CV for them, because sometimes, people don't really know how to talk about, and that's what's part of the things and cultural things that we teach our own alumni. You need to know how to sell yourself. Selling yourself is one of the key weapons you need to succeed in this environment. So what are the roles that you can apply for at the end of the bootcamp, right? Because like I was saying, like a lot of people, when they are done with bootcamps, they still come book consultation with me. They don't know where to start from after enrolling in bootcamps in different places. But here, we would also give you intelligence as to how to use your newly acquired skill sets and all that. At the end of our compliance bootcamp, you can apply to a role in compliance as a compliance analyst, risk analyst, data protection officer or analyst, regulatory affairs specialist, compliance manager, policy and procedure analyst, client due diligence analyst, and the likes. Right, so we get asked a lot about the eligibility of this role as well for visa sponsorship. And as you can see on my screen, this was the last updated, April 4, 2024. Compliance still happens to be on the eligible occupation list. I think we even have a wide range of codes, right? We've got okay, so I think this one is solicitors and lawyers. We've got Barry's compliance officer under legal associates professionals. We've got the compliance manager. We've got so compliance roles are still, on the, so we've had people, right, who have gone ahead to get visa sponsorship jobs, but don't about the visa sponsorship and getting visa sponsorship jobs these days is about willingness. Number one key thing is willingness of companies to sponsor for the role, which no one really has control over that. Okay, so we've also got quality analysts, quality officer, investigation officer, fraud analyst. They are all listed on the skill worker list. So talking about success stories, right? And in this bootcamp, we've had a wide range of success stories as well, right? From compliance analyst, compliance monitoring analyst, conflicts analyst and CDD analyst, compliance assistant, compliance analyst, KYC analyst, and the likes. So these are other roles as well that we've had people get at the end of the bootcamp: finance advisor, compliance manager, AML investigator, senior account officer, KYC quality control analyst, data protection officer, central compliance specialist, risk and compliance officer, business compliance analyst, transaction monitoring investigator, and the like. So based on everything I've said, really, for the certification, the training, the work experience, the reference, the projects, the interview prep, and the unending support as well, you also get to be part of the community, and you also get to be exposed to a wide range of other opportunities as well. The value of this bootcamp is nothing less than £1,500. If you go check other UK-based companies, that have not side hustles, UK-based companies that have everything that we have, that are accredited, and that have everything, well-structured companies that are reputable like us, we would find that, this is the range they offer this course. However, at RKY Careers, we understand that we are supporting the immigrants community, and because of that, we run a special discount that brings this down to £599, and you can still pay into 2 installments, 50% today and balance by end of June. Right. So if you're also joining from outside the UK, which I doubt because I don't get a lot of people introduce themselves from outside the UK, you can also send message to the WhatsApp numbers you have on the screen. Even if you have other questions about payments, about installments and all that, you can WhatsApp the numbers on the screen. They're available to take your questions. And yeah, you can take a screenshot of this screen as well. Our account number is stated on it as well. So if this next cohort starting June 29 is too close for you, you can also start paying towards August cohorts. So for that one, you can still split into 3 installments. You can pay first installments now, second installments end of July, and final installments end of August. However, we have a cohort starting June 29th, and I think, like they always say, if you have a goal to achieve, or you have a dream to achieve, it's always good to be in a hurry. You have to be in a hurry towards achieving that. You can't procrastinate, because most of the regrets we get for most of our students is the fact that they didn't start earlier. Some of them have been following the page for years, and they feel like, oh, you share lots of success stories. Are these success stories even real? At our event on Saturday, it was really mind-blowing for those of you that were there. I don't know if anybody was at the event that we had on Saturday here. It was really mind-blowing. We had lots of success stories, and most of them too, they shared how when they also started seeing RQY, they see lots of success stories, and they're always like, are these success stories really real? Until they got their own success story, or somebody close to them got success stories, before they enroll. So I think if you look at our framework and the way we support and all that, you won't be surprised that we have as much success stories as we do, because whoever it is that puts in efforts into any activity would get results out of it. Right, so these are more success stories. So these are companies that our students have gotten jobs in the UK, from HSBC to Santander to JP Morgan to Monzo to Bank of Scotland, Metro and the likes. So I don't know if we have any questions so far on anything that I have said, or anything related to getting. I think I have a couple of questions, because the next stage is for me to introduce you to our facilitator, just share 1 or 2 things with us as well. Right, so I'm going to go to the chat box to see if the date is too soon. Well, Olayeka, I think it's because of you that I just talked about the August cohort as well. So if June is too soon, fair enough. Right, because it's just next week, right? You can start paying towards the August one, and it's even good because you get to split, wider. So Adiola says, I have already registered. Fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in class on Saturday. Better soup na molecular. I'm tempted to say it in Flavor's voice, right? But yeah, you're so right. Better soup na molecular. And this one is even like discounted stuff. So the money that's supposed to be killing this soup is supposed to be way higher than this. So please take advantage of this discount, right? So I want to join the June cohort, please. So if you want to join the June cohort, please, admin, can we drop the account details for people to pay? Right, in the chat box. So will this cost be available for August? Yes. So if you can, key into this particular price as well for the August cohorts if you pay today. So pay your first installment of £199 for August cohorts today, and then you can split the remaining balance into 2 installments. Yeah, so I would understand if anybody can make the June cohorts, because it's quite close. Right, what date is the August course? August course is likely to start 10th. Right, if there's any reason why we need to change the date, this will be communicated. So how long is the training and what's at the time? So training holds Saturday and Sunday. Our trainings are very adulthood friendly because we all know that, we are all adults. We all have probably, we all have a lot of commitments and all that. And also we are, we all have maybe 9 to 5 as well. So that's why our classes happen on Saturdays. Classes hold 4 to 6 p.m. 5 Saturdays. Right, for 5 Saturdays. I don't know how long. I think I've answered that question. I don't know. Are there any other questions? In the absence of any other question, I would like you to meet, Lumi, I'd like you to meet Lumi, who is our facilitator in the bootcamp. Lumi is a dual qualified, solicitor. Is a dual qualified solicitor with lots of certifications and lots of experience as well across global experience across industries, across companies as well. Lumi, I can see that you're with us, so please, you have the floor.
Hi all, how are you guys doing? Thanks for attending this event, and it's nice to hear about your background and also to have this webinar with you guys today. So just here to tell you guys my own side of the story, how I started, and just like a lot of you guys, I also had challenges breaking into the banking KYC AML space. So I would say it's not as difficult as it used to be during my own time. Now we have a lot of training outlets like RKY who provide training and they guide you, hold your hands throughout your journey. So it's basically about you learning about the subject and also learning what will I even do in the office on my first day. So all those sort of things will be answered. And one advantage with RKY is that we are taking you to the source of your training. So like now, the legislation itself will be torn apart so that you understand it. We will be studying the GMLSG, we will be studying the FATF so that you understand it from the source and everything. Of course, you might start sounding like a lawyer at the end of the program, but you'll be able to quote sections that you're relying on. As even you're working on a PEP, you're doing a PEP EDD, which you have to comply with recommendation 12 of the Financial Action Task Force, 40 recommendations. Taking this kind of information to your interview, I believe has also helped. We've seen a lot of our students get jobs because they have solid knowledge of the regulations and they have that practical experience. So what we are just doing here is to hold your hands and guide you through the journey. I'll tell you guys a story about how I started. I initially jackpot as well, and when I got here, I think I was shocked because my first job was a blue-collar job. I wasn't happy at all. I even wore the suit to the office on the first day, and they were like, what are you doing inside the suit and all that? So my first job wasn't fun at all, and the next thing, I just started to work, and I was like, I think I should be able to do better than this, definitely. And everybody around me was like content with the kind of jobs they had. Like, we had people doing security, we had people doing care, we had people doing cleaning, we had people doing customer service and all that. And I was looking around like all these guys are graduates. There was even someone that had a PhD and all that. I was like, why don't we challenge ourselves and get better jobs? So I would say at that point in time, they thought I was crazy. I was always reading and everything, trying to be qualified as CISI or IT, one of all these qualifications to get myself out of the predicament I found myself, because I was faced with, not having enough money to take care of the family. And I wasn't even happy with the kind of jobs I wanted. So if you don't even have a good job, how can you have a career and all that? And all these jobs are always asking, do you understand this? Do you have that? And all that. And if you don't even have an understanding of what it is, how can you get a job as an AML analyst if you don't understand transaction monitoring, if you don't understand SDN, if you don't understand SSI, if you don't understand the risk involved in the job. So, I read a lot, qualified as TISI, continued pushing, and then luckily for me, someone just gave me the opportunity, and she said she knows I don't really have the experience and everything, but she wants to see what I said, whether I'm true to my word. That I told her that nobody will work as hard as I would. I said she wanted to see that, and that was how she gave me my first job as an AML analyst without even any experience in KYC. I got an AML job, and I can tell you that my first 2 to 3 weeks on the job was really crazy. As in, I didn't know what to do. Every time I got to work, I was wondering, what am I supposed to do? What sanctions? What's this? What are all these people saying and everything? Because I'd never worked in a bank, and I was like wondering all these terminologies and everything. Okay, so after work every day, I used to go and sit down with someone that I just met, and then they put me through. So they put me through all the departments, and then after about 4 or 5 months, I just became a whiz kid in that department, because I knew what other departments were doing. I knew what the tech department could do or had to do. I knew what the sanctions department were doing. I knew what the KYC department were doing. And of course, my own transaction monitoring had become a master. But I was very passionate about transaction monitoring. I just wanted to be part of this team of people in the world that will help to prevent terrorism and money laundering and everything. And I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of what's going on in the world. You probably have politicians in your countries behaving in a certain funny way which you don't like. So there is an element of anti-graft in all of us that we don't know. Everything we are doing here, there's nothing new here. Once you have a bank account, then that means they've done KYC on you, or you just didn't know, and that shows you how easy it is. Unless maybe you're a pep, and then of course you know that they are really asking me a lot of questions. So I would say it's not difficult, but you need to have a plan. Nobody's going to come and save you. I still personally have friends that are still doing the kind of jobs I was doing then, blue collar jobs and everything. They refuse to move, and they think something will happen that will save them. No, you have to save yourself. You have to be serious with your life. You have to decide, I want to learn this thing, and you have to do your reading. I can tell you, just joining RKY doesn't mean you're going to get a job. But you also have to follow us. You have to attend the classes. Even if you miss the classes, they're all recorded for you to catch up on. And then we can also discuss. So we have discussions every 2 weeks, the Q&A session, which you can join at any point in time. So what I'm saying is that when you have your interview, you come for a discussion with your other members of your cohort or other members of different cohorts. We all have an enriching experience discussing your interview questions and how it can help you nail that job. I can say that gives you added value. It's different from what you get out there. I've been in the industry for about 12, 13 years, and I don't know, I think I've seen almost everything. I'm passionate. I continue to study. I continue to enrich myself. My prayer is for all of us to, get to the top of the ladder, and also hopefully the industry experts. Rebrand yourself as a compliance professional, train people, improve the program in your bank or financial institution. And even as a human being, you can also learn about anti-money laundering, data protection, sanctions, and all those things. And who knows, you might also be helping the society. Because now, nobody can use you as a money move to launder money without you knowing. That you would have been aware of some of the tricks these criminals used to launder money, dump money into people's accounts, call them and pretend as if it was a mistake, and all those funny things they do, the Yahoo boys and all that. So, yeah, we're all out to learn and to become better people, to kind of like change your mindset. The way you see things will be a bit different, and and all that. But the ultimate goal is for you to get the skills necessary for you to jump into the job. Once you jump into the job, then of course, you know what to do instantly. Okay, I'm doing EDD of this case. What do I need to do? Where do I need to get information about directors? Oh, I go to company's house. Where do I need to get information about shareholders and blah, blah, blah? Oh, I need to go on this website. What kind of software do we use in transaction monitoring? Oh, we use Actimize, we use Mantas, we use Hummingbird and all that. What are the rules that are being targeted? How do you work cases and all those things? And all that will be broken down into a 5-week program for you. All the modules have videos and materials for you to use to study, maybe, after the classes and everything. So I would say there's robust support for you. Even after you finish, as the CEO has said, every 2 weeks we're here to catch up. Even if you've gotten your job, you just want to help someone else, you want to discuss and all that. It's the family we've created out here, and we continue asking difficult questions and all that. There are some questions they ask me, and I'm like, these guys have gone far, because it just depends on the level of questioning you want to ask me. You can start asking me from the lowest level to the highest level and all that. But we're here to tackle all the questions. How people move fast between their roles, depending on how hungry they are and how much they have time to read. Our program is also very flexible. As CEO has said, we understand people have children and all that and everything. So, a lot of it is online anyway. So most of everything is online. So, and is recorded. Yeah. So all I have to say is make sure if you are interested in joining our team and you're interested in learning and you're interested in jumping into a compliance role in the UK, I'm sure it shouldn't be difficult for you because you already have experience. Our role is to identify your transferable skills, do your CV, get you trained, and just, push you into the new job and all that. And once you do your own part, I don't see why your own success story will be different from all the other people who have succeeded. And just like myself, it's not as if I'm one very sharp guy or anything, but I've just been in industry. I know what to read. I know how to prepare for the interviews. I know exactly what to read for the interviews. For each interview, there is a special section that people don't know about. They call it the sectorial guidance. If you have an interview in trade finance, you definitely have to pick up part 2, GMLSG, trade finance, and that's number 16. If you have an interview in retail banking, then you pick the retail banking product guidance, and that's part 2 as well. So there is part 1 GMLSG, chapter 5, which you have to read, in addition to part 2 for your interview or whatever area you're reading, whatever area you have your interview in. So there are ways for you to come out as a tiger and, be able to answer all the questions they have. They ask you and all that. So, and even when you go for your interview and you now discover that there are some questions you were not able to answer, bring them back to us and we'll sort it out. And then, of course, your next interview, those questions won't be a problem again. So, the modules covered will be KYC, AML, transaction monitoring, GDPR, okay, which is data privacy. And we even during data privacy, we'll be touching on some areas in the US and all that. And then also we now have sanctions, okay, and that sanctions covers global sanctions, and that will help you to understand. So there are various rules you can apply for, as Theo has said, and we are just here to guide you. It's not going to be difficult, and I can tell you it's not just going to be a walk in the park. There's a little bit of reading, but after you finish this course, and when you finish this course, you will definitely be a different person. That I can assure you of that one, and all that. So, yeah, I think, I'll hand over back to the CEO, and then if you guys have any questions about what I just said, please feel free.
Thank you so much, Lumi. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So do we have questions so far? And just like you said, right, Or to add to what he has said, you're not limited to the banking industry. Industries that our students have gotten job include the banking industry, insurance industry, properties, also law firms as well. The UK borough and councils. A lot of our students have gotten job in councils. Even health and care as well. So there's no industry, right, that does not need compliance professionals. That's the truth. So please, can people from Nigeria join the June quotes? Sure, definitely. We have people joining. In fact, we had a couple of our students get jobs right from Nigeria. They got remote jobs, as AML, that was paying them in pounds all the way from, I think one of them got a job with M5 right from Nigeria, remote job. That's what she wanted. Right. So yeah, you can get jobs even from Nigeria as well in compliance. The skill set you will gain is also very useful even in Nigeria as well. So I've paid for the June course. Thanks, and look forward to seeing you in class next week. So I don't know if we have any more questions. Let me see if I still have more stuff on my slides. Okay, so yeah, I think it's just questions and answer really. While we look forward to onboarding you in class next week and going on to share your success story much later as well. So do we have any questions at all related to compliance? So I currently work with the NHS BSc and I have admin background, but I'm looking to get something within the health system. Is this for me? Right. So it depends on what your next step is. So if you're already in the health industry and you're looking to go further into the health industry or admin area of health industry, so you might want to look at, maybe some other courses, but you can send the DM to us on Instagram and we can have a better understanding, because I can't advise, this is like a career advisory. I can't advise you based on this little information I have about you. So if you can send us a DM and you take it from there. Right. So for those that joined much later, we also have other boot camps in project management and business analysis, Scrum Master and Product Owner, data analysis and business intelligence. And regardless of whatever it is you decide to do, even if you feel that okay, June is too close, I would say you should try to join our Excel boot camp. I mean training. It's not a boot camp, it's just a training. Everybody needs Excel skills, either within regardless of your industry. That's the Excel and PowerPoint is what you also get for just £75. This is an 8 weeks intense training as well that takes you from a beginner to advanced user in Excel and PowerPoint. Right. So I'm above 50 years with banking experience in Nigeria. Is this for me? Right. So first of all, age is just a number in this space. There are so many people that actually moved to the UK in the last 2-3 years or so. Most of them are either in their late 40s or 50s as well. So this does not stop you from transitioning. It depends on what you really want. It doesn't stop you from transitioning into any career path of your choice. Right. Talking about your banking experience from Nigeria would give you an advantage to integrate smoothly, and attract recruiters in the banking space here as well. So what I see for you is an advantage, rather than otherwise. Can we look to register for August? Can we that are looking to register for August have the grace to pay our first installment by Friday? We are begging. Of course, you can pay your first installment by Friday, which is this. There's no time you can't pay. So if you decide to pay in July, it means you will only be able to split into 2 installments, right? So the earlier you start paying, the more flexible your installments is. So I have a question for Mr. Lumi. Is it necessary to get certified in GDPR before you can get a job in the as a data protection officer?
No, not at all. Most of these compliance jobs out there, you don't need to be qualified. You don't need any certificate or anything. But it's always good to have one, maybe along the line if you decide so. But I have a lot of people that don't have any qualifications. I do have some qualifications, but I have people that don't have qualifications and they are getting the same kind of jobs I'm getting. Sometimes I have an edge over them. Sometimes they are not bothered. Yeah. But it's always good to have it. Okay, but let's start, with the practical training, and then you decide what you want to do. Maybe when you start your job.
Okay, so to add to the question about certifications as well, you will get a certification from this bootcamp, which also counts. There are also other areas or other ways you can get more certifications. If you go to, there are lots of LinkedIn courses and all that, that would also help you, to be to show career progression, because what they need really is for you to show. It's not like it's a certification that will do the job, but they need to show that, oh, I just took a recent course, not that your last course you took or your last degree was 10 years ago, and that's the most recent thing on your CV as well. So joining this bootcamp would also serve as an updated certification in that career path. So can the payments be made in other currencies? Like I said, if you're joining from outside the UK, or if you're joining from Nigeria particularly, please send the DM. They'll tell you what the rates is in Nigeria and all that. So can we please have the link to the data analysis and business intelligence starting next week as well? I would like to pay my first installment today. I will be paying the rest during the week before start Saturday. Right. Admin Adela, if you are still here, please send her the payment link so that she can pay for her first installment for data analysis. If we pay on Friday with the 599 still apply. Olayinka, yes, it will still apply. So I have another question. I'm a lawyer with a PhD, but currently working as a customer service advisor with a bank here in the UK. I have a lot of fraud cases at the moment. I'm looking forward to going into the compliance and data protection, and trust this is for me. Right, Lumi.
That's very interesting. That's a heavy qualification you have under your belt. A PhD. Definitely.
Is the PhD in law, by the way? Is that PhD in law?
LLB.
There will be a lot of books to read. Because law already is books, then you not have PhD again.
Honestly.
But anyways.
I'm going to work very hard, because we are going to move you. It's going to be very easy for all of you to move into KYC and AML. You can see where the problem is. You're already overqualified. But the good thing about UK is they don't discriminate. They won't come and say, oh, you're overqualified. And we also have ways by which we can tone down your CV so that you won't look too heavy. So we have, strategies for you already. And you have a perfect background, even though we have more than is needed. All we need is for someone to just, have graduated and all that, or even if you don't have a university degree and all that, it doesn't matter. Most of the KYC guys are like entry level roles, and then there are some other roles you can also apply for. But I can see that even if you start from the lower levels, after 3 to 6 months, you can decide to move to better roles. So just get in and then you start moving up, which is what I also did. The first role I got was very junior, but I've been moving, and I can almost do any role I want to, depending on the pay. That's my own. That's what attracts me to it. So best of luck. I'm sure you do well. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Right. So I think, Esther, personally, I think that you already have an advantage. Like I said, it's all about the advantage. First of all, you have a PhD, you are working as a customer service advisor, and you work on a lot of fraud cases. All these are already preparing you towards success in your career path as a compliance professional. All right. So I have a lot of trainings on money laundering from Access Holdings of Germany, the same as KYC, because I handle ongoing transactions during my banking days in Nigeria. This is very interesting, and I would really love to explore this in the UK as well. Right. How flexible are the classes? Classes hold 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturdays for 5 weeks. So they are very flexible. All our classes are recorded, and you get access to the LMS to rewatch them for even up to 12 months after the bootcamp as well. Right. I don't know. Do we have any more questions? So, Olayinka, I look forward to seeing you in the August class. Esther, I look forward to seeing you in June's class. And yeah, the rest that are yet to enroll as well. I look forward to getting your enrollments right and seeing you in class as well. Right. In the absence of any other question, for those that joined late, you can catch up on the recording on our YouTube. On our YouTube channel, RKY Careers, or RKY careers. And yeah, I think you can also contact us with the numbers on the screen. And I think that's it really. Thanks guys for staying till the end. And I look forward to seeing you guys in class. Thanks, Lumi, for joining me into this session.
Thanks for having me, and great to catch up with you guys. Hopefully we see you guys on the other side.
Right. So okay, I think we have another question. I have an education background and no banking or law experience. Is this for me? So you don't necessarily need to have a background in banking or law whatsoever. If you really want to, if you want a career in compliance, you can have a career in compliance, right?
Yeah. Can I just add to that?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. So once you've worked before, to be honest, that's already experience. And a lot of our people have come from care, cleaning and all that, white collar jobs and all that. So yeah, care, a lot of people have been tired of working in care and they just want to break into banking. So you'll be fine.
Exactly. So if people are, they've only done care, if they can become compliance professionals, so can you, right? So can you? So can you send a DM on IG? Yes, Adiola, you can. Thanks for having us. See you in August. See you in August. Olayinka Nkechi, thank you. Thank you as well. Thanks, Lumi. Have a great week. Evening, everyone. Bye.